Hey everyone, welcome back to this wrap-up video for the introductory learning Python with Blender series. And this is probably something I should have covered in the beginning, but we'll get to it. And anyways, like I said in the last video, this is the conclusion of this particular series for now. We will get into, I believe the next couple of things I'm going to work on is outside of Blender, but a small Madlib program, and then for those of you TTRPG players out there, I'm going to create a dice roller and walk that through you, which should have a bunch of information about Python, maybe add a bunch of questions, and then we're going to be using a program to create a GUI so that you use a mouse, not everything like we've been doing in this, where we're using the console to print something out. So I think that's where we're going to go next in the Blender courses. I'm probably going to go into creating just getting up and running and creating a very basic room, maybe with something spinning inside of it, and then work on a very simple character so that you can start experimenting and creating a place for the character to walk around. That's what my plans are right now, and just keep watching. I'll have them out as soon as I can get them done. The last video we covered FreeCodeCamp and RealPython. Definitely look those up. While I'm getting this next stuff up, start learning that, and you'll probably blow me by, because if you just learn, that goes faster than trying to create some stuff. But I've got to do this creation stuff just for me. This is what I'm going to do, and I hope you can follow along and bring your friends over and watch and support from there. Make sure you do like and subscribe to the channels, whether on Rumble or on YouTube, wherever you're seeing this. Especially over on Rumble. If you're finding this on Rumble, there isn't a whole lot over there. So I'm on purpose trying to build up a little bit of more stuff on Rumble that has a little less to do with politics. As much as I like politics, that's not what this is about. So I'm also going to have a specific section on Substack, and I will make an announcement when that happens. And I am rebuilding the website right now, and that's barbarosalives.com, and we'll go from there. So that's where we're at right now. I'm just going to show you these three things. This is the game engine in Blender, and this is done in Blender. This is done in Blender. And the biggest difference is I can also make all of these, create all of my materials, add things like this. This is all done because it uses Blender. Let's go and see the type of graphics that it's using. Blender has a real-time engine. It's called Eevee, but it's in there. You can read through all this information because it's in Blender. Obviously, we can UV map. We can create every one of our assets in there. And there is in the Blender game engine, we can create all of the UI. We went over a little bit of the Python. But there's also, and we'll get to this somewhere in the set of courses, there's also Logic Bricks, which is what had been around for years and years and years in the old Blender game engine. Like it said, almost 20 years. A Logic Node system. This is like a visual scripting system, which is still it's still Python, but it puts the functions together in a visual way. Full animation system. Don't have to go somewhere else to do it, including you can take BHs, which are files that just have the animation that are captured from somebody from a motion capture program, and you can then attach those to your character and have them done that way. Keyframes, armatures, which is a skeleton underneath the shape keys, which allows you, that's how any characters that you're seeing in a movie or a game, how their facial structure is usually done in shape keys. Full physics, multi-platform. When you put it out, we can make it work on Windows, Mac, Linux. Full navigation system, full audio system, and that's just the start of it. And if the graphics part gets to you, Blender is amazing. There was a time when nobody would use Blender for anything except screwing around. They've created several movies now. It is now being used for many, many projects. It has grown its way into a very solid system, a solid 3D program, movie making program, VX program, and it's still free. It's absolutely free. And that is an amazing thing. If you would go look at Maya, I believe that's over $100 a month, or Lord knows how much if you actually went out and bought it. But again, we can just quickly look at the features just to give you an understanding: rendering, modeling, sculpting, which is what ZBrush does, rigging and animation. That's from one of their movies. You can now do 2D graphics in it, which means we can make very interesting 2D games inside of the Blender game engine too. Something that looks like a anime or something like that. Visual effects from lighting, bloom, whatever you would want in and out. Simulations, full bullet physics and manta ray water and physics. I'm not sure. I'd have to check if the manta ray works inside the Blender game engine yet, but the bullet physics definitely does. And then, hey, when you see these, I video edited them in Blender. I don't even use another program for editing the videos that I put out here. And as usual, the Python full API for that and a full interface that we've been looking at. So that's what I'm trying to bring to you guys, at least partially. We're going to look at a bunch of other things, Pygame, and a few other libraries to create other interesting things. Ursina is like I mentioned before, is another full 3D program that we'll take a look at and try to make some stuff into. And then lastly, this is where you get Python, and everything's in here. And again, you can find all the documentation, all the downloads, a masterful community, and whatever you'd like to do. And the amount of things that Python is used for is here. For back-end web development, those are all libraries that you can use to do that. These are all libraries that can give you a graphic user interface. These are just a tiny amount that are used for scientific and data analysis, full software development, and other things that I haven't even touched any of this stuff. I know nothing about it. And it just keeps going and going and going. And again, fully open source and fully free. So that's the end of this little course for you, and hopefully a bunch of other information. And I will refer back to this often, probably as the beginning of other courses, to come back and look at this one to get started. Thanks for watching. Please give me the shares, and whatever you can do to help out would be awesome. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.